गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड्स, स्टडी विद अपाला इंजीनियरिंग एंड जर्नल जियोलॉजी परवीन सिंह। तो हम लोग चैप्टर 12 पढ़ रहे हैं इग्नियस रॉक के बारे में। अब उसके डिस्कॉर्डेंट बॉडीज के बारे में पढ़ेंगे। All those intrusive bodies that have been injected into the strata without being influenced by their structural dispositions dip and strikes and thus traverse across a oblique or to the bedding planes. It's are grouped as discordant bodies. Important type of discordant intrusions are dike, volcanic neck, and batholiths. These may be defined as columnar bodies of igneous rock that cut across the bedding planes or unconformity of the cleavage planes and similar structure. Generally, the dikes are formed by the intrusions of magma into pre-existing fracture. It depends on the natures of magmas and the characters of the invaded rock whether the walls of the fractures are pushed apart that is widened or not. Dikes show great variation in their thickness, length, structures, and compositions. They may be only few centimeters or many hundreds of meters thick. Similarly, in length, they may be anything between a few meters to many kilometers. In composition, dikes are generally made up of hyperbasal rock like dolerite, porphyries, and lamprophires, showing all textures between glacial and phenolitic types. And dikes generally tend to occur in group or sheds, and thus the term dike set is used for a couple of parallel and closely spaced dikes. When the number of dikes occurring in a limited area is quite large, the term dike swarm is used to express them collectively. It is customary to classify the dikes like sills are simply dikes, multiple dikes, composite dikes, and differentiated dikes, the terms having the same significance as for sills. So next page, इसी में ये टाइप दिया है कि सिंपल डाई कैसे है और मल्टीपल डाई कैसे, कंपोजिट है, रिंग डाइक, ये भी बहुत एग्जाम में आते हैं। रिंग डाइक का डायग्राम बनाइए। रिंग डाइक, तो कोन शीट एंड रिंग डाइक्स में बी कंसीडर्ड एज अ स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ डाइक्स, या लिखा भी हुआ है। The cone sheets are defined as a assemblage of a dike-like injections which are generally inclined towards common centers. Their outcrops are accurate in outlines and their inclinations is generally between 30 degree to 40 degree. The outer sheets tend to dip more gently as compared to the inner ones. Ring dikes are characterized by typically arcuate, closed and ring-shaped outcrops. These may be arranged in concentric series, each separated from the other by a screen of country rocks. They show great variation in their diameters. Their average diameter is around 7 kilometers. A few rings dikes with diameters ranging up to 25 kilometers are also known. Origin of dikes. It has been already mentioned that dikes are intrusions of magma into pre-existing fractures present in the rocks of the crust. These original fractures are generally caused due to tensions. Their origin width might have been much less than the present thickness of the dikes. This indicates widening of the cracks under the hydrostatic pressure of magmatic injections. In case where magmatic pressures happens to be less than the lithostatic pressures that due to overlying rocks, only the space made available by the original fracture is filled by the magma and determines the dimension of the dikes and volcanic neck. In some cases, vents of quiet volcanoes have been shielded with the intrusions, such congealed Intrusions are termed volcanic neck or volcanic plugs, and in outlines these masses may be circular, semicircular or irregular, and shows a considerable variation in their diameter. The country rocks generally show as inwardly dipping contact batholith. These are huge bodies of igneous masses that show both concordant and discordant relations with the country rocks. Their dimensions vary considerably, but it is generally agreed that to quite as a batholith and the igneous masses should be greater than 100 square kilometers. In areas and its depth should not be traceable. So this is a typical of a batholith. They shows extensive downwards enlargement in figures. So and so the costa. Acha, sorry, this here next page I saw. The Costa Rica and batholiths of British Columbia is at least 2,000 km long and 40 to 90 km wide on different sides. It is considered by many as the largest plutonic body in the world. The Idaho batholiths in the Sierra Nevada batholith of California are some other example of batholith. When the surface area of batholiths like igneous mass is less than 100 km, it is commonly termed as a stock. When such a stock has roughly circular outlines rather than irregular, it is further distinguished as a boss. Minor projection of igneous masses from the roof of batholith stocks and bosses called apophyses are often observed passing into the overlying system. In compositions, batholiths may be made of any type of igneous rocks. They also exhibit many types of textures and structure, but as a matter of observation, majority of batholiths show predominantly granitic composition, texture and structure. So in next figure, ये हम जो 12.4 की बात करें तो ये है वोल्केनिक नेक है और बेथोलिथ है. So origin, many views have been expressed regarding origin, many views have been expressed regarding the emplacement of a batholith. The most important theories are outlined below. Imbalanced cauldrons subsidence. According to this views, parts of country rock within a vertical ring dikes may fall into the underlying magma reservoir. The space thus created by the mega subsidence. The cauldron, the cauldron subsidence, as it is called, gets subsequently filled with magma, which congeals to form batholiths, stocks, and bosses. Emplacement by magmatic stops. This views forward by Delhi. Envisages engulfment of blocks at the roof of the magmatic reservoir. So the roof blocks are first shattered due to expansions because of heatings from below and then start sinking into the reservoir of magma. Granitization may be broadly described as a set of processes by which already existing sedimentary and other rocks are changed into granite-like masses without actually passing through a magmatic stage. The term envisages at least two fundamental conditions. The change that converts the solid rocks into granitic bodies are essentially institute in character. The change are brought about essentially in solid state. Igneous intrusions. Unlike the igneous intrusions, the igneous extrusions do not show much complexity in their form, since they generally occur as widely spread, extensive flows covering enormous areas, and the sheet may occur as the layer laid ones above another. Often there may be layers of other sedimentary materials deposit during the volcanic intermissions, and which are called intertrapian layers. The total thickness of volcanic layers piled one above another may reach many hundreds of meters, and in some cases the different flows can be distinguished from one another by the presence of intertrapians, but in other cases they may be completely welded together without any zones of separations being visible between them. The volcanic flow sheets may be horizontal and slightly inclined depending upon the original topography and subsequent geological history of the area. Thank you.